Hello and welcome to Common Sense TV. I'm your host, the Doctor of Common Sense. It is so obvious that there is nothing that the Democrats, the media, and the rhinos will not do to try to stop President Trump from making the country better. He's having a hell of a week, by the way, too, and they're upset about this because he brokered the ceasefire for the 12-day war. If you saw the latest with Rwanda and Congo, made a peace broker with them, and the media tried to even lie about that. And then one of the Rwanda's reporters showed up and threw Joe Biden under the bus and was praising Donald Trump. Now I know y'all don't like for this to happen when somebody, especially somebody of color, shows up to give their praises to President Trump for doing the job that the other presidents was too big of a coward to even do. Now, she said this even while CNN was claiming that there was no peace agreement.
So as Caroline has mentioned, President, first of all, I want to let you know that I'm the only African reporter accredited here at the White House and covered for the entire continent. So I just arrived from Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, yesterday. I went to see firsthand how the people is feeling and the president's message, President Felix Tshisekedi, about this upcoming peace deal.
So she's not saying what somebody else said. She went and visited the people to report accurately what was going on and how the people were feeling about this peace broker deal.
And let me tell you firsthand what I've witnessed myself. I spoke with the people on the street. I spoke with youth. They know your name. They know that a president named President Trump is working hard to finally bring.
Did you hear that? People in Congo know that this president is not just talking. He's not like the Bill Clinton kind of presidency who ripped Haiti off, never gave him anything, took the money and ran, and a bunch of you dumbasses, including you minorities, actually still praises Bill and Hillary Clinton. Hell, y'all was calling him the first black president before the commander sausage hider showed up.
Peace to the country. I saw hope. They have hope now for a better day in Congo. They see what you're doing as a future, better future for Congo. And I had opportunity to sit down with President Felix Tshisekedi for an interview because I want to understand his mind, what he's thinking, his feeling about everything that your administration is doing. And he told me firsthand that for many years, many American presidents overlooked this conflict. They didn't do nothing. Even myself, I cover President Biden's administration.
He didn't do nothing. He wasn't in charge there. No, he wasn't in charge.
Pressed many times about this conflict. People are dying in Congo.
They don't care. They'll pretend like they care about the quote little minority, but they don't give a damn.
This country has so much potential, but they need help because this war is destroying the country. Right. They never gave me any answer. And he told me, President Tshisekedi, that you have no idea, he's very thankful for what you're doing, for what your administration is doing. Not only him, the entire Congolese people, they see that finally they will have hope. And President Tshisekedi also.
Praise the Lord. Preach.
Also mentioned at the end of my interview that when peace finally comes to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he's thinking to nominate you as a Nobel Prize Peace because he said you deserve, you have been working to bring peace in the world, not only.
Did you hear that? Nobel Peace Prize. It should have been got. It should have got the last term.
At the Congo, and he's very.
They gave it to the sausage hider, Barack Obama. He hadn't even done a damn thing.
Hopeful to meet you in the future.
That's so nice, boy. And that's so beautifully stated. And Caroline said, number one, she did say, and I shouldn't say this because it's politically incorrect. She said, she's beautiful, and you are beautiful. Okay?
Did you? That Donald Trump is something else.
Not allowed to say that, that could be the end of my political career, but I said it anyway.
But I want to bring that right there up to bring up this is what the president is doing, and he's not getting any credit about it. Now, these rogue judges who have been trying to instruct the president what to do. We don't have, 600 or so judges trying to stop him. Now, he's brokered this cease war peace in Congo, gas prices are low, and this Supreme Court ruling, it really actually exposes Ketanji Brown. Because I'm not a big fan of Amy Coney Barrett, but we can put this up in the caption as Brown versus Barrett, and it wasn't even close. And I've disagreed with Amy Coney Barrett on a whole lot of decisions, but she was completely correct on this one, and she destroyed. Some people are saying she nuked Ketanji Brown. Now that's not hard to do, nuking Ketanji Brown, because if you recall, Ketanji Brown is the woman who don't know the definition of woman.
You provide a definition for the word woman.
I can't.
You can't?
She can't.
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
She's not a biologist. So if you look in the mirror, what are you then? That's what I would ask her. What are you? Are you a woman? Now, Kagan and Sotomayor allowed her to do the descent, but that was comical in and of itself because Amy Coney Barrett says, we will not dwell on Justice Jackson, if you're nasty, argument which is at odds with more than 2 centuries worth of precedent, not to mention the Constitution itself. We observe only this. Justice Jackson decries imperial executive while embracing an imperial judiciary. Then she goes on to say, because analyzing the governing statutes involve boring legalese. In other words, you're too stupid to look at the law, but she's supposed to be a Supreme Court justice. Who is the fellow? Who is the people who's her law clerks? They don't know any better than this, because one of the law clerks, I guess she okayed it. They wrote in there in the dissent, wait for it. Like, you did this and then wait for it. Proving our case. Now, all of these cases only proves one thing to me. They said there's been about 27 universal injunctions issued in the 20th century. Right now, if they haven't did any more before what I looked up, is about 86 universal injunctions were issued against President Trump in his first term. 30 or so, maybe a little bit more than that, have been issued against President Trump already in his second term. They're using the court system to stop him. So first term, 64, I believe 64, but some people say 87, I think 64. Second term, I think, no, 60, first term is 64. Second term, some say is at about 30, some say about 40. But if you look at Biden's whole presidency, the man wasn't even in charge, he had 22 and Obama had 12. Now, if you think that this is not about trying to stop him through the judicial system, you're fooling.
It can't be right that one district judge.
Now, this is Kagan. After the fact, Kagan was saying that this should not be allowed. When this is in 2022, when Kagan said this.
It just can't be right that one district judge can stop a nationwide policy in its tracks and leave it stopped for the years that it takes to go through a normal process.
Isn't that something? I wonder what changed with her mindset. Why did she change her mindset? Let me let you listen to it one more time. This is her in 2022.
It just can't be right that one district judge can stop a nationwide policy in its tracks and leave it stopped for the years that it takes to go through a normal process.
Isn't that something? Now here's something about the injunctions.
It was against the ruling that I just gave the guidance because she's one of the least junior justices, but she was assigned to write this opinion. And essentially,
you know, isn't she the same one the other day they had when they were talking about the transgender surgeries? Now, the 6 who had children voted against this, allowing kids to have this transgender surgery. The only justice with kids was the Ketanji Brown that voted against it. She don't even know what she's doing. She's in over her head. She is the DEI hire. The only reason she was hired, according to Joe Biden, who wasn't in charge himself, is because she was black.
What she says some say that the universal injunctions give the judiciary a powerful tool to check the executive branch. But she says federal courts do not exercise general oversight of the executive branch. They resolve cases and.
Look at the cases right here. I mean, to me, this should be enough. You're going to excuse the chimes. This right here should be enough, right? Look, the map does not lie right here.
Controversies consistent with the authority Congress has given to them. When a court concludes the executive branch has acted unlawfully, the answer is not for the court to exceed its power, sounding very much like they are limiting these injunctions. We know here that they have granted at least partially the stay to these preliminary injunctions, but they say only to the extent that the injunctions are broader than necessary to provide complete relief.
Now, anybody who's not biased can actually see that the only reason they're doing all this is because, first of all, these communist pieces of trash hates the damn country. All the Democrats ever do is hire people who's incompetent in the first damn place. And then they go get a bunch of lawyers behind the scenes and rogue judges who was appointed. And they allow them to fight their fight for them, because the people who's in charge, the LCs, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they're too stupid to make an argument. These lawyers tell them what to say. Now, this should be enough to stop all of these phony injunctions trying to stop the president from deporting a bunch of bad actors. Ketanji Brown is no more fit for the Supreme Court than a bulldog is. But she got slapped down, and hopefully this will stop some of these ridiculous injunctions that should never have been allowed in the first damn place. We can get back to business. They're upset because we're winning. And by the way, those who said that the bombs being dropped in Iran was going to start World War III, the economy is doing better. Hate to have to say it again. You were wrong again, so-called expert. I wonder what Tucker Carlson says about all this. Yeah, well, I'm waiting, because y'all say he was right. He was smart. He was right. Well, it looks like he was wrong again. And I'm going to keep bringing it up, because just because somebody got a big following, I once had a real big following. I got banned because I wouldn't compromise like the rest of them. Damn right I'm going to say it. But they're upset because President Trump is winning. Just saw what soy boy Elon Musk was running his power hole again. Elon Musk had said something to the effect, because they're not going to get all these subsidies for these wind farm and all this. He's upset about that. You made enough money. Why should we be subsidizing your companies? I don't believe in subsidizing any of them. But not, especially when it comes to this climate change, electric cars, and wind farm trash. You say some jobs going to be lost? So what? Maybe some needs to get lost if it's going to result to that. President Trump, you're having a great week. Really proud of the job you're doing. If we can get some of the deep state arrested, I'll feel a whole lot better if we can get Pam Bundy and Cash Patel to do something about the deep state, because they're still lurking in the background. They need to be arrested.